Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face on your screen, welcome. My name is Marilyn, but I go by Mare, and this is my channel Heal with Mare, where I talk about healing through generational trauma and breaking generational curses. And as y'all know, the first curse I've been trying to break is the generational curse on my God-given hair strands, which is so wild. Thank you so much for almost 19,000 subscribers. I'm at 18,600 subscribers. About 5,000 of those subscribers came recently when I started talking about my radical self-acceptance journey and how I've just been living proudly the way God has created me and letting my hair just do what it does. And hit the subscribe button today, like this video, and leave a comment, because that is the way we can get this movement really going and get more women like you and me embracing their God-given hair and their potential. In this video, I'm gonna actually be talking about the guys that natural hair attracts. I created this video way back when I first started this journey, and I'll link it up here, but I talked about the different types of guys that I attracted with my natural hair. Since then, I was thinking, like, dang, there's some other instances that have happened that I didn't mention, and then there are new instances that have happened that I need to mention to just remind y'all of how beautiful you truly are with your natural hair. I want to preface this and have this disclaimer that obviously, like, the way you feel about yourself and your confidence should not be external. My confidence only became true confidence when I decided that my true validation came from God. The minute you decide that your true validation comes from within, comes from the God inside of you, that is confidence. No man, no woman, no nothing in this world can make you actually feel confident. And so when I'm sharing this video about the type of guys that I attract, it's more so as a way to laugh and give you encouragement about the different types of men that you can potentially attract with your natural hair. Because not for nothing, there is this misconception within the natural hair community, or even when I think about Black women who don't want to wear their natural hair, they're like, no one's gonna be attracted to me. Black men don't like my hair. Men don't like natural hair. And so then they decide to wear wigs and extensions and box braids that will pull their hair out, like their hair follicles out, because they're trying to impress someone or they're trying to receive a compliment, right? I talk about the fear of missing a compliment in one of my latest videos. You can watch it here. So I make this video as a way to encourage, especially because there are young girls who are like 17, 18 who still don't really know about the God within them. And so they still believe that their confidence comes externally. Well, if you believe your confidence comes externally, girl, listen, your natural hair is not taking anything away from your confidence. Your natural hair actually boosts your confidence. Your natural hair actually boosts your beauty. And I'm going to talk about that in this video, so keep on watching. There are different types of guys I attract with my natural hair, and I've noticed every single time I attract a man while I'm looking like this, without makeup, with my natural hair coming out of my scalp, the type of men I attract are typically men I would consider dating. Here's the thing, I've been married for the last almost 4 years, and I've been with my husband for 8 years. He proposed to me 3 years into our relationship. It's so funny because somebody was like, in one of my last videos was like, he waited too long. First and foremost, he wanted to marry me for the longest, but I was a thotty. You gotta watch the video that I created about being a thotty, how I went from thotty to godly. But I just didn't want to be held down. I wanted to be a boss babe. I wanted to like still be available without being available. It was so weird. Like I was an opportunist waiting for the next best opportunity when literally the man of my dreams was with me the whole time. God have mercy. And with that, let's segue into the first type of man you can attract with your natural hair. The type of man you can attract with your natural hair is a marriage-minded man. So I'm currently married to a marriage-minded man who always wanted to be married, always wanted to be a good father, and he's doing those things right now. He is my beloved husband and the father to our daughter, and I'm so blessed to know him and so honored to be his wife. And when he met me, you know, I was not wearing wigs at the time. He met me online on OkCupid back in 2016, and at the time I was living in South Korea, and I, you know, saw him and he hit me up on OkCupid, and he was definitely not my type at first glance. He wasn't my type, but I kept talking to him because we had one mutual friend. So I was physically in Korea, but I only had like 4 months left. So it was like November of 2015 that I actually met my husband. and I met him online. But I moved back to the States in February of 2016. So even though I was talking to him in November, I wasn't going to be back in the States till February. He hit me up, I was talking to him, blah, blah, blah. I was pretending like I was in the States. And then eventually I was honest with him. I was like, hey, by the way, I don't even live in Rhode Island right now. I live in Korea and I'm not gonna be back until February, blah, blah, blah. Then in the middle of me talking to him, you know, I started to catch feelings for one of the people that were in my programs. He was in my program and I knew him for over a year, and he was also catching feelings for me. Eventually he confessed that he liked me, I confessed that I liked him, and we started dating. And I messaged my husband and I was like, hey, I'm actually in a relationship now, you're not my type, blah, 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 like we have to stop talking. And then I cut him off. So we stopped talking, and then we come back. I come back to the States in February because my dad had been diagnosed with cancer and I wanted to make sure I could be there with my dad. And my plan was to move back home and then live with my dad as I helped take care of him through his treatments and through his recovery. Unfortunately, he ended up dying in 2016, and I kid you not, I think the day I landed, I get a message from him on Facebook asking, are you back yet? And that's just the way it went. He was so persistent. He was so persistent with me and wanted to get to know me. And eventually, like, I was like, you know what, why not? What do I have to lose? I was dealing with my dad going through chemo treatments. I was in a really low place, and I had broken up with the guy I was dating in Korea. So I was like single, ready to mingle, and I gave him an opportunity, I gave him a chance. And I was always wearing my natural hair. In my OkCupid profile, my hair was in a natural style. It was in a fro. I dated him with my hair natural, and we were together from 2016, and now we're married, like I said. But he didn't really care when I started wearing wigs. I started wearing wigs in 2018. He stood beside me. He stood beside me that whole time. He's been with me through the death of my dad, the death of my brother, the death of my mom. And like most married couples don't even go through that many deaths in the first 10 years of marriage. Me and my husband had been married for 3 years and we went through all of that. Like, that is crazy to me. He's such a good husband. So that's the quality of man you can have. You can have a man who's gonna stand beside you through everything. The next example I wanted to give y'all was, okay, so I made this video recently. I have a whole bunch of videos about this. I don't know if I have enough space to link it, but I'm gonna post the video here real quick. Tell me why this always happens. I'm walking, minding my business, and this very young gentleman who was also very tall and attractive. And you know what I have to say? It takes a lot of courage to like get the, yeah, it takes a lot of courage to get the energy to approach someone, especially someone you don't know, on the street. And I give him so much credit for coming up to me and like really trying to get to know me. But I literally had, I was like, I'm married and I actually have a kid, like a whole human being. It's a TikTok of me reacting to how a man approached me on the street when I was just walking, minding my business. That day, I personally thought I looked my worst. I was wearing glasses, which I typically don't wear glasses, as you can see. I was dressed like super athletic, comfortable. You know, I'm becoming more modest lately. I'm like on my modesty journey, so wasn't showing any cleavage. I had some capri workout pants on, some flip-flops. My toes were not done. I had some stubble on my legs, stubble under my arms. Yeah, like it just was not looking my best. And out of nowhere, you know, I was turning heads that day too. A man and his friend literally stopped. So I was walking this way and they were walking the opposite way of me on the same sidewalk. So we were just passing each other by, right? And as I was passing, they stopped. And I kept walking and they like watched me as I walked by, but they didn't say anything to me, right? So I was like, okay, this is gonna be an interesting day. Now that I'm wearing my natural hair and now that I'm getting closer to Jesus, closer to God, I exude a different energy that attracts people all the time. And so like I'm realizing that, but I also am that type of person who's like in my own focus. I'm like focused, I'm in my own tunnel vision. So anyway, I'm on the street, I'm going up and down. You know, I went there to enjoy a day to myself. Like I had a little solo date, and then I sat down to eat some Mexican food. My belly was full, and then I was heading back to my car. And as I was walking down the street with my full belly, first of all, I smelled like a shrimp taco. I like feel as though I was looking musty and dusty, even though I look at the video and I'm like, okay girl, you're gorgeous. But out of nowhere, as I'm walking, I hear someone say, excuse me. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I turn around, I look up, he's tall and handsome. Tall, handsome, clear skin, nice teeth, dressed really casual, very polite. He's like fumbling over his words before he comes out with it. There's a point where I felt like I was being rude. I was like, Yeah, how can I help you? He was like, you know, I saw you walking by. I just wanted to talk to you. And I was like, okay. I literally told him, I was like, okay, what did you want to say? That was my energy, because I just wanted to get to my car. And he's like, well, I was just hoping I could get your number. I was like a new mom, postpartum, going through heartache, healing, on my healing journey. Just recently started wearing my hair natural. Just recently started seeing how beautiful I am. Like, I literally don't have my toes done. I'm hairy. I just finished eating like a whole bunch of tacos. Okay, so as he's talking to me, I'm like, oh wow, okay, well, I'm married and I have a child, so I appreciate it, but no, right? And then I'm like, thank you, and I walk away, and I get into my car, and the minute I get into my car, I turn on my phone and I shoot that video. And that's why, like, in the video, I'm like looking around, because I didn't know whether he was gonna come in the direction I was parked. Girl, it was something interesting. That's the type of man you could attract. Tall, handsome, intelligent, educated. He was so well spoken and so polite, and I know that that's a low bar, but like, honest to goodness, I've had some interactions with men in the past where it's not always that polite. They don't, oftentimes men ask for my Instagram before they ask for my number. So the fact that he was asking for my number, and he was like definitely younger than me. I'm in my 30s, I'm 32. He looked at least like 28, 27 or something. And I'm like, you're a youngin', you might even be Gen Z, and you're asking for my number instead of asking for my Instagram? Boy, what? This is a story that I haven't told y'all, but one of my good friends, she remembers this because she was with me on this trip. She was one of my friends from college. We went to Mexico together, right? We went to Tulum for a yoga retreat, and during that trip, my hair was actually, I probably have the video somewhere. I could probably link it in the description box. But during that trip, I wore my hair in these curly box braids, and I got so tired of having extensions in my hair. Tulum is hot, it's humid, I was just over it. So I decided to take the hair out, and I decided to wear my hair in a puff. And I'll post some pictures of me after I took out the hair. So I was wearing my hair in this puff. Mind you, when I had my hair in the braids and stuff, the braids were eaten, they were giving. People were giving me, you know, attention and all that. I had men trying to dance with me at the club and all these things. Of course, I don't really dance at the club like that, so I was always politely declining them. But these particular, you know, that particular hairstyle wasn't like, you know, ugly or unattractive, but when I took out those braids, baby girl, my attractive level went up a notch. Like, it was actually incredible, and it was cool that I was able to take it out and still be in Mexico, because I was able to compare my hair in braids versus my hair in a fro, and my hair in a fro ate. I was literally stopping traffic. I was so surprised by this. So me and my friend were walking down a street in Tulum, and these men were honking their horn, whistling, shouting out their window in a cute way. Like, it wasn't like, it wasn't like animalistic. It was just very flattering. And they were like, yeah, you in the yellow, like just trying to get my attention. And my hair was natural, like, girl, and this was in Mexico. So I was like, okay, first and foremost, why did I think that I wouldn't be able to be cute on this trip? And like I said, going on trips is not about being cute and trying to get attention. But again, I'm a woman, and it definitely is flattering. I'm not gonna lie that it's not. But the fact of the matter is, there was a huge difference of when I had my hair in the braids and when I had it out. And even one of my friends, she saw me in like on my Instagram stories, and she was like, girl, you should have had your hair out the whole time. You look incredible. And somebody in her family was trying to holler at me too, because when I think he was over her shoulder looking at my story with her, and was like, who's your friend? Who's your friend? And that was me with my hair in a puff. Nothing but a puff. Girl, please. Listen, I need y'all to stop making excuses at this point. So this is another story. Me and my friend, hey Gabby girl, she used to live in Korea with me, and I remember there was one time we went to a club, and it wasn't in Daegu, I believe it was in Itaewon. It might have been in Itaewon in Seoul, like one of these little neighborhoods in Seoul where a lot of foreigners hang out. And honestly, it could have been Hongdae. I gotta figure out, I have to ask and like look at the videos. But it's so embarrassing. Well, no, it's not that embarrassing. But we're at the club, okay? I had my hair in like a braided style. It might have been like this type of style, like a mini braid style, or I might have had like a little bit of length to it back then. But I was in the club with my girl, and this very handsome, tall, black gentleman came up to me, and he legitimately was so handsome. I thought he was very attractive. He wanted to dance with me, so I danced with him. I was single back then. I was in my early 20s, and he would not stop dancing with me. He wanted to hold my hand. By the end of the night, he definitely got my number. And listen, I'm somebody who's very transparent. We most definitely did lock lips at a moment. And that's really unlike me because I'm very much awkward, quirky. I'm not gonna give you anything. But yeah, that was such an interesting night. So he was this black guy who was from America too, but he was living in Korea because he was in the military. And I was not the type to like be into military men. When I was in Korea, I dated mostly Korean men. I had a Korean like bae for a couple of months, and then I went on a couple of dates with different Korean men, and then I dated a Bulgarian guy for like, he was like actually my boyfriend. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. He told me he loved me and all of that. We traveled to Hong Kong and Shanghai. That was like how deep it got. But before that, it was mostly just Korean guys. So the fact that this black man approached me at this club was a little bit different because I'm like, oh, interesting, we're in Korea. And typically to me, I thought a lot of the black men and the foreigners that came to Korea wanted to only date Korean girls. But honey, he was definitely checking for me up and down, looking for me, like trying to catch my attention every corner. Like I was like, okay. And so I eventually danced with him, and he asked me for my number and all that information. And so we definitely started talking. There was this app called Kakao Talk. It reminds me of WhatsApp. It was like the WhatsApp of Korea. And you know, he would hit me up and we would talk and flirt. It was like really a flirtation, but we never met up face to face because I lived on Jeju Island and he was on the military base, which is on the mainland of South Korea. So I never really checked for him. I never like wanted to link up with him. Honestly, I think it was just like a one-time flirtation and that was it. But I was definitely wearing my mini braids. I was definitely natural and looking real cute. And so I need y'all to understand, like, you can get high caliber, you can get low caliber, you can get all that. And you know, we all have value as human beings, but there are certain men, you know what I mean. When I say high caliber, I mean a man who is kind and gentle, polite, like knows God, is intelligent, is thoughtful. I'm not saying that he wasn't, but like I definitely could tell that what he wanted was something very superficial and surface level, and I have never been that type of person, so definitely did not want to continue a relationship or whatever, a situationship with him. I don't like situationships. That's not a thing that I invest my time in ever. So yeah, like I let that go. But that was in Korea. That was at a club in Korea. There was other black women at the club too that day, but he was like, I like that girl with the mini braids. I see her, I want her. And he came for me and he got what he wanted. So girl, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for you not to wear your natural hair. All right, let me tell you the last story. So this last story, this was when I was wearing yarn braids. I love yarn braids as a natural style, and that's a style that I feel comfortable wearing to this day. Like in the winter, I probably will dabble in yarn braids, maybe. I don't know yet because I'm still trying to figure out, like I'm still trying to continue this journey of 100% wearing my hair for a year. I want to see if I can make it a year without needing any add-ons, and right now I'm doing pretty darn good. It's been almost 7 months and I haven't had a single piece of fake hair yarn on my head, and that's been incredible. But when I was in Korea, I would do my hair in yarn braids often, and this particular time I did my hair in yarn braids. Me and my friend Tabitha, we went to Busan, and in Busan there's all this fun stuff to do, and this is in Korea. A lot of my fun stories were in Korea. I like be thinking about Korea and I be laughing. So we were in Busan, Korea, and I used to live in Korea if you didn't know, but I was in Busan, Korea for a weekend with my girl Tabitha, and we were just walking around one of these streets out there in the evening, just like club hopping, bar hopping, walking around, just enjoying our time. Me and Tabitha met this really handsome Scottish guy. He was blonde hair, blue-eyed. He ended up adding me on Facebook or finding me on Facebook and reaching out to me. The night we met him, he was so cute and bubbly and cool, and he spent a lot of time with us and just wanted to get to know us and started bar hopping with us, and we got to know him. That he was from Scotland, and he had a beautiful little accent, and he was like visiting Korea, and he was so bubbly and friendly, and he just continued to follow us. And we went to a club and it was fun. We were dancing. It was me, him, and Tabitha dancing, and I never got a vibe that he was attracted to either one of us. I just felt like this was a bubbly Scottish white boy who wanted to just hang out with us. And I went upstairs. So this club had 2 floors, and I went upstairs real quick to use the bathroom. I was like, Tabitha, so-and-so, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, I'll be right back. And they were fine dancing because we were all literally dancing, not sexually, not in a way that was just having a good time, not any type of attachment or expectations. So I went up to the bathroom, and I leave the bathroom after I'm done, and he's there. Like, he's literally waiting for me outside of the bathroom. I'm like, where's Tabitha? You left Tabitha? I'm like, what the heck is going on? And he's like, I really wanted to tell you that I think you're so beautiful and I would love a kiss from you. And I was like, a kiss? Y'all don't understand. I think I undervalue what people see when they look at me, especially when I'm in my natural state. When I have my natural hair, I undervalue like what that means to people or what that looks like to people or whatever. And I just could not believe that this man not only followed us from club to bar to club to restaurant the whole night, but then when we got to a club and that we like, you know, club that we liked and that we were dancing and having fun at, and I thought it was all like cordial and platonic, he followed me up the steps to the bathroom. And not in the bathroom, he waited for me to get out, but he was, and there was mad people. It's a club, it's packed. And I'm looking at him like, sir, like, what are you doing? He asked me for a kiss, and I'm like, seriously? What? So I give him a little kiss, a little peck, but then I'm like, this is so weird. And we go downstairs and he's still trying to dance with me, and now he's like, it went from being a friend to like, my camera literally just died, but where was I? You know, continues to hang out with us and wants to dance with me, wants to get my info, and like we eventually part ways because it's like, okay, this is the end of the night, you're making people uncomfortable, like you're making us uncomfortable now at this point. And it wasn't that it was uncomfortable, it was just like I felt, I don't know, it felt weird now that I knew he was attracted to me and that that's what he was doing the whole time. And so we part ways and he asked for my info, and like at the end of it he's like, do you want to come with me? Like absolutely not. What? Girl code, I'm not leaving my girl behind, and that's on period. Second of all, who the heck are you? Third of all, I'm a child of God. I don't do that. That's not my thing. So I was like, no. But ladies, he couldn't resist the natural hair. He just couldn't resist. And he was such a sweet, he was fine. That's the thing about these men I keep telling y'all about. They are fine, very attractive, very well-to-do. And he definitely had money. I was looking at his Facebook because I don't know, is he still a Facebook friend for me? I don't really go on Facebook like that. But I looked at his Facebook, I'm like, this is a really uppity, rich boy from Scotland. Like, so handsome, like the traditional handsome white man. But even still, I was like, no, absolutely mente no. But it was so funny because what did I have? Yarn braids in my hair? Like I just wasn't thinking about my hair. I didn't think about what I was exuding. But this actually, like, I think as Black women, we forget how eye-catching we are. We are very eye-catching when we are just being ourselves, when we are living in the will of God for our lives. And part of the will of God for our lives is that we enjoy exactly the way he created us, because if he is our ultimate creator and he says everything that he's created is good, then by default we are good. And if it's good and it ain't broke, why are you trying to fix it? So that's what this video is all about. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked listening to my freaking, like, all my stories are so funny. I be listening to my stories and thinking about my past, and I just be laughing. I just laugh. And there's so many other stories, of course, that I'm not sharing here. But maybe I'll make a part 3 if you're interested, and if you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you really like these videos, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share your little escapades. Let me know, what type of men do you feel like you attract with your natural hair? Share some stories below. I would love a good laugh. Like, I love sharing stories with y'all. So please don't be stingy. Share some of your stories as well. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.